Hi, I'm Angela, and I'm going to tell you everything you've ever wanted to know about working with Ashley. I've got my questions up here that I would love to like expand on. So if I'm looking up here, that's what's going on. And I'm going to try to make this succinct. But if you're watching this, hello. And if you want my email, if you want my social media handle, please ask Ashley if you want to like talk about things in more detail. Would be happy to. So let me talk about where I was before working with Ashley. So I felt like I had a lot of business foundations, the things that I thought I needed set up. So I had the website, I had my own version of branding that I did myself, email list. I was posting on social media. I thought my messaging was like, okay, needed some work. And the real thing that I was missing was the ability to really hone in on exactly what my potential client needed and speak to that problem, and a sales marketing process. So it was a huge gap in my business of being able to look at a potential lead and say, okay, how can I guide them through this entire process? What questions can I ask them? How can I lead them through this? How can I communicate what I do? Long story short, I have a very specific niche that I have had a hard time communicating. So we worked on that very extensively, and being able to communicate that in a way that like made sense to people wasn't frustrating for me. Huge thing, but mostly that gap of like, where do I take this person to get them from let's talk, let's hang out, let's be friends to would you like to work together? Here's how I can help you. And that's exactly what Ashley helped me do. So since we just ended our time together, we worked together for 6 months. In that time, we worked on all of those things. So like really drilled down into content, how to speak to exactly who I'm looking for. What is that person's very specific problems that I can help with, and how do I speak to that? So we worked a lot on content. We worked a ton on the messaging component, and not just like, oh, let's, see what works. Let's see what doesn't work. Very um, very deep understanding, deep analysis of like, let's go back and look at what's going on. What are people responding to? What are they saying? How can we like dig into this deeper and kind of refine it? So it was kind of like a funnel of like, let's try these things out. Let's refine to get to the point where it's like, now I feel very confident in my messaging. And I've gotten people saying like, I'm blown away by your marketing. I totally understand what you do now. It's very clear. I understand exactly what you do. And I've been getting a lot of those compliments that I have been passing along to Ashley of just like, your marketing is amazing. And I'm like, thank you, Ashley. That's great. So I feel really great about that. So content we worked on, we did a lot of what in my head I've been calling like guided action alongside Ashley, because of course, as you know, you're taking action, trying out new things, very uncomfortable, not enjoyable, very hard. But having Ashley there to be like, okay, here's what I'm thinking about for my next step with this person. Here's what we've been talking about. Here's the direction I'm thinking about going, and being able to like, I don't want to say like make mistakes, but like dip your toe into a certain area, try out this strategy, try it out alongside somebody who knows what they're doing, can help guide you and teach you a skill set. And that has been the most important thing that I've learned working with Ashley, is a skill set that I can now take with me. I can use every single day in my business, and I can take it throughout my life, throughout my business career. Literally no matter where I go. It's not specific to the business that I have now. If in 10 years from now I have a different business, I still have this skill set that she taught me that can't be taken away. And that's the best thing. Sorry, my camera's wobbling around. I'm getting passionate. My desk is moving. Okay, so skill set, that's fantastic. And really being able to ask the right questions to people. And again, being able to communicate, this is exactly what I do. Here's the exact problem that I can help you solve. And here's how we can do it. And just making it easier on my audience to understand that. And the sales process, which we worked on a lot as well, with that guided action of, okay, let's take it this direction. Let's offer a clarity call. Let's move on to like this specific paid offer. How can we guide them through this process? So in the time that we worked together, we did all of those things. I now have a process for like planning out my content. And I have like, in our time together, I have an entire like several pages of just content that I was able to get a lot of clarity on that this is, I can speak exactly to my person's problem with hundreds of content ideas. So I have that in place. I have a process to take someone from friendship, talking and to figure out what they have a problem with, to offering them a clarity call or like a free resource, or moving straight into a paid offer. I also know how to identify who needs what. So sometimes people need the clarity call first. Sometimes people are like ready directly to be pitched or an offer to work together. I now have that skill set to not be a weirdo in the DMs, which is great. I have booked clarity calls with dream people. I have booked clients. Amazing. And I am just like, it's exactly what I needed to fill that gap in my business. And it was like, I get like, again, if you have more questions, send me a DM or send me an email because I could talk about it forever. But I was just, previous to working with Ashley, really just spinning my wheels of like waiting for somebody to show up and thinking that I'm like communicating everything very clearly and I'm launching and I have like an email list and I have all this stuff, and still not seeing the results and the success and kind of the progress that I wanted to my business because I was missing this exact skill set, right? I can't really do much. I'm kind of just like living on luck if I don't have this skill set. So it's been instrumental to develop, and it's going to be like amazing moving forward in my business. What else? I would say, I think like my other thing that I want to touch on is like, if you're on the fence in working together. I have been in the space of like working on my business, investing in different things, like things that I thought I needed. Again, like kind of like spinning my wheels in certain places, investing in people that I was like, that was not what I needed, or like that person didn't give me what I needed for my business. And I can say with like the most sincerity ever, I think Ashley is the first person that I've invested in that I know genuinely cared about the success of my business, about me as a person, and about what I'm going to do after this. And that's like straight up the truth. It's like, she will genuinely care about who you are as a person, what she can do to help you in your business, and where you're going after that. Not just like, hey, here's this invoice and we're going to work together while we work together and then goodbye. It's like an actual person that's going to dig into your business and give you exactly what you need, and be like the flexible coach that I think so many people need, where it's not like, here's the way that I do it and that's the way that I'm going to teach you. It is definitely more of like, how do you learn? What do you need? And working through those together to, again, develop the skill set that I need, because I'm not going to learn the same way that you learn. And she has that ability that a lot of people in this space do not have, to be able to help you create a skill set around who you are, who your business is, and kind of mold it to those things. So yeah, if you're on the fence, I would say, I don't know, send me a message and I will tell you everything you need to know. She's so hands-on, like more hands-on than anybody I've ever worked with before. Always checking in, always 1 step or 10 steps ahead of you, preparing things for you. Anything that I asked for, she's like, great, I have this resource. I was like, okay, amazing. It's just like plopped in my little client dashboard for me. If I'm like, hey, let's talk about clarity calls. How do you structure clarity calls? She's like, oh, I already put it in your dashboard for you. Here's everything you need to know about it. Fantastic. And basically, like, wherever you are, she can meet you there. She can say, let's focus on this. Here's a resource for that. Let's work through this together. And I think, no, best investment I've made for my business. And moving forward, I feel so much more confident in my abilities and my ability to like create exactly what I need to create, speak exactly to the people that I need to, communicate exactly what I do, because there can be some confusion in moving through that entire client experience, sales process, everything. So I would say, if you are like unclear about your sales process, feel like your marketing is pretty good or could use some work, or you need help with messaging, she's your gal. And also very like adaptable in whatever niche you're in, because her principles of marketing are the simple truth of marketing of like, here's what works basically across the board: build relationships, be genuinely interested in people, have a heart for service, and she can apply it to whatever industry, whatever niche you're in. Okay, this is a long video, but I hope that that was very informative for you, gave you all the information you need to know. If you're hesitant, I would say like just reach out to her, set up the clarity call. If you're watching this, I'm sure you're like already partway through the process. The things she can do inside your business give you the skill set that's going to serve you like years, months, decades from now is amazing. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up, but best investment I made in my business, and it was a sad day when we had to stop working together, but we get to continue to be friends, which is maybe even better. So that's great. And that's all I have to say. Okay, bye.